Alright, there's a church there. Let me just find it in the database if I can. Database, locations... Oh, is that the one? Yeah. Santa Maria Gloriosa de Frari, or Frari. Built by the Franciscan monks, Santa Maria Gloriosa de Frari, the Frari for short, is the second largest church in Venice. Well, it looks like it. Following the guidelines of St. Francis, who advocated poverty, the church has very basic exterior decoration. It is rumored that in the 15th century the Frari housed a hidden tomb which has since collapsed. That's not a lot of information. Now that bell tower looks like a challenge. It is a challenge. Maybe you can do it. I don't know. Anyway, the bell tower looks like a challenge, Rebecca says. Thanks, Rebecca. Let's go into Wikipedia and see if we can find this. The Frari in Venice? How do you spell it? F-I-R... Frari? Church? Venice? Apparently there's concerts. Oh, yeah, there's concerts going on. Basilica de Frari, Santa Maria... Okay, Wikipedia. Let's see what you have to say. And let's copy that. See if we can get some images of it. So the interior looks like that. Like the end of it looks pretty impressive. Look at that. So there's a lot of openings at the end of it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. The outside is, as they say, it's quite Spartan. The interior is quite nice. I think we're gonna go in the interior. That'd be quite good. Alright, let's see. The Basilica di Santa Maria Gloriosa de Frari, usually just called the Frari, is a church in Venice, northern Italy. One of the greatest churches in the city, it has the status of a minor basilica. It stands on the Campo di Frari at the heart of the San Paolo district. The church is dedicated to the Assumption, Italian Assunzione della Beata Vergine. The Franciscans were granted land to build a church in 1250, but the building was not completed until 1338. Work almost immediately began on its much larger replacement, the current church, which took over a century to build. So they finished it and then immediately built a new one. The Campanile, the second tallest in the city after that of St. Marco, was completed in 1396. The imposing edifice is built of brick and is one of the city's 3 notable churches built in the Italian Gothic style. As with many Venetian churches, the exterior is rather plain. The interior contains the only rood screen still in place in Venice. The Frari is a parish church of the Vicariate of St. Polo Santa Croce do Soduro. The other churches of the parish are St. Barnaba, St. Ludovico Vescovo, Santa Maria del Soccorso, and Santa Margherita. Titian, the most important member of the 16th century Venetian school of painting, is interred in the Frari. Okay, that's awesome. Not much else to say. Not much else to say about the architecture. Like, it's not very, they don't say very much about it, do they? Well, there we go. The interior looks kind of interesting. Let's see if we go into the interior in the game. Also, that's what it looks like. Let's see the real plan of the building. So, oh, that's interesting. There's like a canal and a bridge in front of it, and then steps. See, like in the real city, there's these steps. Like there's these kind of squares, and then you can kind of just step down into the canal. Like, do you see that? Just step down. I think that's what's missing in the game. That's kind of disappointing. I've been there. I remember sitting on those steps. See, that's the problem with this game. With the Venice as portrayed in the game. Yeah, these are too small. Like, look at this. You saw the picture, right? There should be a bigger square here, and the steps down to the water should be shallower. Yeah, these things, they should be much shallower. You see how steep? I mean, these aren't very steep staircases, but in the real Venice, they're even shallower than this, and so it's just flatter and more comfortable, if that makes sense. Like, it's just nicer, and often you're closer to the water as well. Like, you see how far up we are from the water. Like, but in here, if you look at that picture there, let's see if we can get a bigger one. Like, you're only like 3 steps above the water. Whereas here, you're like 6 steps above. So you see how close to the water you are, and you kind of have this open space, and there's buildings and water. Like, the water is closer in the real Venice than it is in game. Like, in game, like, when you're here, you don't even see the water. Look at this. Like, you barely see the water there, like there. Because of how narrow the streets are and how narrow the canals are in the game, the angles are such that you don't actually see it. Whereas in real life, imagine if this thing's like 4 times as wide, the canal, you'd see the water down there, and it's just nicer in real life. I think, like, in most instances, or in many instances, in Assassin's Creed, like, they've scaled things down and it's worked. For Venice, I don't think it works quite as well, to be perfectly honest. Like, it's just a little bit too squashed, a little bit too tight, and let's, you know, you don't see the water. If you're walking and you're just looking around, you don't see the water. You have to kind of lean over this to see the water. Whereas, you know, in the real city, you'd see it and you'd hear it, and it's just always there. Like, you know, you don't. How much water do you see if you're just walking around like this? Nothing, right? It's yeah, not as good as the real thing. I mean, let's look at that. You see how there's like a street and the water. You see how the water is, you know, an integral part of the city. In fact, you look at these pictures. Anyway, I won't keep rambling about that. So what is this? Oh, the plan. So there's a Trinity cloister, supposedly, to the side. The sanctuary is there. The sanctuary is kind of, it looks pretty good because there's a, see those massive columns there? Those are the weight-bearing columns, and that allows the sanctuary, the back of it, the windows, to be quite open, because that doesn't actually carry any weight. Like, you see how many windows there are here? Like, that doesn't actually carry any weight. Whereas, like, the columns are behind here, so the weight is carried on the columns. So this is quite light, and they can kind of open a lot of windows here, because those are carrying the weight of the roof, as it were. So that's cool. Alright, let's see if we can find a sanctuary on this side. I don't think we can. I think it's just the church in the game. They've kind of missed out a part of the building here. Can I, like, climb the... Can I climb this? I can't, can I? Alright, let's go to the side. And can we climb up the side? Probably not. Let's climb the other building and then jump back over. Rebecca says this is a challenge. It doesn't say that we need anything special to get up to this. Alright, so here's the church. Actually, can we get to the back of it? Oh, here it is. Let me just quickly look down here. That's interesting. But there's see how many windows there are? That's a lot of windows. And they've done that by, you know, having the weight carried on columns. Not sure if that's correct or not. Shouldn't those be columns right there? Right underneath us? Like there? Huh. That's a bit strange. Oh no! What are you... Why? Why'd you do that? Get back up. You can't even get back up. No, what are you doing? Are you kidding me? You can't get up here? This is so fail. Ezio, you are so fail. Alright, get up. You can't climb those windows. You can't climb those windows. Alright, so in the real building there should be a cloister No, get
Hey,
down.
do you have your knives? We could use it for target practice.
Alright, so in the real building, there should be a cloister. Well, there kind of is. There kind of is a cloister. Not there, but here. There kind of is a cloister here. Not sure if that's accurate. That's actually not accurate, I don't think. Because that's almost square. No, that's not. That's not right. It's almost square and there's like a well in the middle. There's a little fountain there. It's not really the same though, is it? Yeah, yeah, get down. Get down. No, you get down. Alright, so the cloister's missing. I don't know, I feel like... You know, in Florence, everything... Why did you do that? Why did you jump off? Like in Florence, the city was built such that it felt like Florence. But I'm running around Venice here and it doesn't feel like Venice to me. Like the scale is done in such a way that it doesn't really feel right. It doesn't feel like the real thing. Whereas Florence really does feel like the real Florence. I can tell you that much. Alright, let's just heal ourselves. Since we jumped off like an idiot. Alright, back to the church. And let's see if we can... Should I try the tower one more time? And like this, like the top of the building is actually kind of fancy, but you can't see it from the ground. I don't know if it's just in-game or if it's in real life as well. Like everything's so tight here. You don't really have the good angle to see it. Because with something from this high, like something this high up, you have to see it from a distance. But there is no distance there. You see how the buildings are just kind of there. Like if you want to see the entire front of the church, right, you have to kind of just step back from it just to get everything in your view. But everything is so tight in Venice, especially in the game, that you can't get these views very well. Alright, so how do we get up here? Because you can do that, right? Right? And you can't... No, it doesn't help at all, does it? No, that doesn't help at all. Alright. So this side, which is exactly the same, you can't get up there. You can't get up from another building. Huh, okay. Let's go inside. We'll figure it out later. Let's see if we get to visit the interior of this church. So it's Italian Gothic. It's not a Renaissance church, it's a Gothic church. Although Italian Gothic is not quite as... You know, it's not the same high Gothic as you see in France. Ah, we get to see the interior. Explore Santa Maria, Gloriosa, del Frari and find the Templar treasure hidden within. I'll do that. I will do that. Apparently we are in one of the towers? What about paintings? Who puts hay inside a church? Also, you can't get inside there. Oh, that's interesting. So are we inside? Oh, we're inside the tower. I see. Wow, look at this. We have to get up there. I'll do that later. Let me just walk around in the inside first. So this is the second time in this game that they've turned an impressive church interior into a level, a puzzle, a jumping puzzle in the game. Where's the front door? It's there, right? All right. So there's the. Wait a minute. Where are the pews? Or is that? Am I the? Okay, that's. This is strange. Where are these? Are the pews? Wait a minute. What's going on with this church? There's like 4 benches. And then there's the sanctuary. Wow, that's impressive. Look at that. Look at the light coming. Look how much light there is. Although they've made the rest of the church really bright as well. I'm not sure about the next gen graphics as well. There's not enough contrast in here. Do we have? We don't have high dynamic range lighting, do we? Because in the real church, like this, in the middle here would be much darker. So you'd kind of go into a church, and there'd be like a darker bit in the middle, and then in the distance there'll be those big open windows, which should not be that blurry. And so then it'll be like there's like a light at the end of this kind of dark space. That's what the cathedral is supposed to look like. But the next gen graphics has turned it into this, which I'm not too sure about. Let's see if we can look up some pictures of the interior. So that's I believe that's a high dynamic range photo. You see how everything's kind of bigger in real life? Like, you see how the scale is kind of not right, and if just kind of look at this picture, for instance. Okay, there are these things here. There's more than 4 benches. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. But these things, like, they don't obstruct the view of the church as they do in game. Like, they're not that tall, you know? Oh, I see. Like, it's only these benches here. Those wall things are not actually... Or are they? No, they're there. Okay, I see. They are there. They are there. Let me just get back into the game. Is that a problem? It is. Like, it's too short. The church is too short. Like, this thing... I think this thing is full size. They've built this thing full size in the game, but then they made the whole church smaller than it is in real life. And so the view is not right, because that should be further away. Like that, the sanctuary should be further away so that we should be able to fit the entire thing within the screen. Imagine if this is like twice as far away as it were here, then you'd actually see the top of it and the bottom of it within the screen itself, right? And it's not going to be like here, like you can't see the top of it because the scale is wrong. I don't know, I feel like I'm complaining a lot, like I'm just listening to myself talk and I sound like I'm complaining a lot. But it doesn't look right, you know? And I just can't avoid the fact that it doesn't really look good. Okay, there's a lot of stuff around here. Is that stuff I can climb up to, or is that loot? Do I jump across there? Alright. I don't really have too much else to say. The Wikipedia article is not very big, neither. I think all the artwork is historic, so all these paintings I think are... Well, no, we saw this painting in the tower as well. I think some of this stuff should be accurate. But art history is not really my strength. I know a little bit. I'm not very good at it. So actually, let's just look at the... It's like I can't even look up at the roof because the camera is kind of constrained. Let's see. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and then the transept, and then the sanctuary. Let me just see that there. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then transept, and then sanctuary. Yeah, like they've shortened it. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no wonder it's too short. It is too short. Look at it. It's only they've cut off. No, wow, yeah, no.